Hello, 7th grade students. This is your history video for Wednesday, October 7th, 2020. Today you guys are going to be reading the Roman Empire, Strengths and Weaknesses. So, as we talked about yesterday, the Roman Empire was a dominant force in the world during the peak of its time. It covered huge amounts of area. It had cultures and different ethnicities that were represented within it, and they were really high up in art, architecture, science, history, all of those things. So, as you're reading through, you're going to talk about the government. You're going to see kind of how they helped to develop different governmental ideas and thinking. You're going to look at the technology of the Roman Empire and some of the things that they are known for. You are going to look at the art, which they have some of this stuff over here for you to see. The art of the Roman Empire. And finally, what about the failures of the Roman Empire? So what did they do wrong? Because they failed. The fall of Rome is one of the more notable things. And so what did they do wrong that made it so ultimately they collapsed or fell? The question you're going to be looking at today is, what were some of the problems in the Roman Empire that led to its downfall? So that's what you're going to be looking at. So there's a couple of different things. One of them was spending. It says there was a lot of spending going on in the Roman Empire, and the economic system eventually began to collapse. So they kind of spent more than they were able to take in. The Romans relied upon the labor of enslaved people, and this backfired on them as the enslaved became increasingly able to file grievances against their owners. Using former soldiers as slaves was also a bad idea. It resulted in an armed slave rebellion. So they had trained soldiers and then tried to make them into slaves, and the trained soldiers rebelled. Another issue was that government officials became more and more corrupt. And so people don't trust them, don't want to follow them if you are corrupt. The corruption led to assassinations and a distrust of the people in charge. It was also difficult to control and take care of an empire that was so large. Even with the most honest and dedicated government officials, it would be hard. Despite these issues, the Roman Empire was a success for a very, very long time. So again, we're looking at overspending and not enough finances in their economic system. Slaves starting to revolt and using, so second to that is soldiers being used as slaves who are capable of fighting and revolting, and then corrupt government officials, and ultimately not enough control because of how big the space was, the size of the empire. So those are kind of the main things. So you're going to rewrite that in your own words. You're going to answer that question, and that is it. It's pretty short for today, so just make sure you read through and get that done. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.